Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Boring AFC. It's been a great week or so for the Arsenal, but today I want to come away from the pitch a little bit and talk about something different because it's landed. Yeah, the new Arsenal app has landed, and with it comes a completely different identity, perhaps to what we're used to for the Arsenal. And I think it's really exciting. I think Arsenal did a really good job of teasing it for us. We had those string of tweets where we had it's landing on whatever and whatever. And so there was already quite a high engagement for it. So when it dropped, they did it in true Arsenal style with a great advert that kind of picked and teased at the way Arsenal were treated by rival fans and the media in general, with it being set up in a corner shop, corner city, a corner flag on the moon, Gabriel blocking people in a corner shop, like just all the things that Arsenal fans are really going to buy into and enjoy. So the build up and the hype for it was great. And today I'm going to be answering the question, I guess, what does that mean for us as fans? As always, my name is Rob. This is the Boring AFC. I'm chasing 50 subscribers. I'd be grateful if you can help me to get there because the ultimate goal for me is to be able to stream live and engage with you guys in real time. Okay, so let's get to it then. Let's talk about the app. And clearly Arsenal have been quite obtuse here, I think, in the sense that this is a response to fans' insatiable appetite to be able to engage and talk about and discuss the Arsenal. It's what we love. And it's clearly part of a wider strategy for complete global football domination. And I'm not talking about trying to be the biggest club in England. I genuinely think that the Cronkies, Arsenal, are chasing world domination with this. And I'm not saying that just to kind of be reactive or sensationalize it. I genuinely think that is what the Cronkies are trying to do. And I'm not talking about Man United kind of fame. I'm talking Real Madrid global dominance. And, you know, it's a business move that for me I think is beyond just football. And I've got to be honest, I'm not really sure if any other clubs are creating an app to engage with fans or to have fans engage with the club quite like it. It almost feels like this could be a first. And for me, it just kind of shows how invested they are in trying to make Arsenal the biggest football brand in the world. And so I'm all for an Arsenal flicks. If that's what it is, Arsenal flicks, give it to me. Give me all of it. Um, And just when we talk about that kind of wider global strategy, we've now got this streaming service, which is essentially what it is. This is a streaming service. We've got the teams are doing well on both fronts, particularly the Arsenal women who were incredibly successful last year. And hopefully we are going to see the same with the men's team this year. The clothing brand, the merchandise and the partnership with Adidas continues to grow. And these amazing commercial partnerships, along with our academy, feeding into the men's team or the senior teams in general. So there is so much to be excited. And actually, Arsenal, I think, Arsenal get a lot of jip in the media and from other clubs, but bar Liverpool, who I think are currently recognised as the leaders in all of this, bar Liverpool, Arsenal are flattening everyone. And so I think there is huge potential in what we are seeing with what Arsenal are doing, and we are seeing that evidence in the Arsenal app. So let's just talk about some of the shows quickly. I did have a little browse and I've had a watch. The first one was The Link Up, which is a Bukayo Saka show where he's talking to kind of leading British artists and fashion icons. I don't really know how else to say it. And I watched the first episode and it was with Thames. And although I clearly wasn't the target market, as I am clearly not the target market with some of the other shows that are going to be on offer, it was really enjoyable. You see Saka as exactly as you would expect him to be, right? And he's engaging with this music artist Thames, and they're making music together, and they're talking about their experiences. And it's the type of things that fans want. They want to feel closer to the people that they idolize or admire or respect and want to cheer on. And I really enjoyed it. It was a good show, which kind of I think gives me hope, because when you release something like this, there is that kind of concern, like, okay, this is great, but is it going to be crap? And you can see that Arsenal have invested in this, and you can see that they're investing in the wider project of this. This isn't just kind of like, oh, we should do this and we're going to do it now. And it makes me wonder it makes me wonder actually how long they've been planning this. Because when you look at the annual report and you talk about other projects that Arsenal had been funding that were off the pitch, and now maybe you're seeing where some of that money's gone. And actually, it could be, this is all could ifs and buts, but I think this has huge potential. There's the big match, which is basically a blind date. Again, not the target market, but someone's going to want to watch it, right? And if it's crap, they won't do another season. I think Charlie George was in the teaser for that. So, there's exciting things there. And there's Only in the Land, which was the build up to the Arsenal Women's Champions League final success. Modern Leader, which is about how captaincy has changed, and Martin Odegaard is at the centre of that. I'm really looking forward to watching that. That's a little bit slightly of a longer watch. I think the link up was about 15 minutes and the Modern Leader was about 40. So, you need to plan your time accordingly. And then there was Raising the Bar. And I have to say, that's the one that I'm most looking forward to. And I feel like the one that is most me, which is an interview between Thierry Henry and Declan Rice. So Arsenal are clearly investing in this, and they're trying to show variety and attracting different people. I think there was a trailer for another TV show or another show called Gunner Girls. So again, looking at the different market groups within their own fan base and thinking, right, so who's going to want to engage with this and who's going to want to engage with that? So, I think there's something for everyone, and I'm for it. There will be some people who say, oh, they just need to stick to the football. But, there's football's changed, and it's been changing since Beckham, really, where players have become their own sort of brands. And what all Arsenal are doing is almost a little bit what WWE has done, is that they have taken those brands and keeping them very much within the club so that the club's stature can grow. And with that will come more money, which is ultimately, as a business, and, I'm not exactly pro-capitalism, but I get why all of this is happening, is to bring more to the club, more exposure, more money, more success. It is as clear as day, and I know nothing about business. So, I'm for it, and I get it. I do have reservations, though. I've only watched one show, so what if the content is crap? And that would be a failure, because I think there's enough uniqueness about this where other clubs will follow suit. So I'm really hopeful that it isn't, but there are going to, Netflix didn't become what it became by being perfect the first time out. Otherwise, they wouldn't have learned anything and got better. And I think Arsenal will have to learn some humbling lessons. But even just with the raising the bar conversation between Declan Rice and Thierry Henry, that is the type of thing that isn't going to excite me. But maybe the blind date show isn't necessarily going to excite me, but there's enough where hopefully they can see that there's variety, and they will see what works and what doesn't, and that will help them to create the content going forward. And like I said before, it's clearly part of a wider strategy for complete football global domination. And like I said, this isn't trying to be the biggest club in the UK. This is chasing Real Madrid. And even if they don't do it, right, because, let's be honest, it's Real Madrid, but even if they don't do it and they try, how much better is that going to leave the club? Streaming is the way forward. We all stream. We are all streaming on YouTube all the time. We're watching stuff. We're engaging with stuff. Arsenal are looking at that and going, well, let's get them coming directly to us, because everything is there. There is the new content. There's the content from 5 years ago on there that you can stream and look back on. You can stream the under 21 games. You can listen to the podcast on there. So there is enough there to keep us occupied and coming to the Arsenal directly. However, my other reservation, along with the content might be crap, is that this is a streaming service, and at the moment it's free. Do not be surprised if at some point Arsenal turn around and go, this is going to now be $4.99 a month. We've got enough content to keep you occupied. It wouldn't surprise me, because that's business sense. whether you like it or not. However, there's also an argument to be had that, we're paying for super chats on YouTube. So, what's say £5 or £10 a month to be able to engage with this content if you like it. And there'll be some people who are completely against it and that Arsenal should just give it to us. Yeah, well, perhaps, but if it's part of a wider strategy, then you can see why they're doing it. So that's the only thing I would say. For me, I'm for it. If it was a tenner a month and it was good, I would pay it, but I wouldn't be willing to pay it right now. Other than that, I kind of like what I'm seeing in the sense that this is not an Arsenal that are trying to just take part. This is part of a strategy where Arsenal are trying to take over. And for me, I think that's something that we should be excited about. Thank you for watching. As a reminder, I'm trying to get to 50 subscribers, so please do subscribe so I can stream and engage. And as always, up the Gunners.